Today's Throwback Thursday is going back to the 1950s. I'm talking about The Old Man and the Sea by Ernest Hemingway. Ernest Hemingway is one of my all-time favorite writers, and this is one of my all-time favorite books. Definitely give it 5 out of 5 stars. I love Ernest Hemingway's style in general because he is a minimalist. He's a true artist when it comes to writing and putting stories together. He actually was living in Cuba in the 1950s, and he wrote this story in 1951. He was in Cayo Blanco, Cuba. He published it in 1952. This is said to be the last major work of fiction that he published while he was still alive. There may be some short stories or other things that published, and there were works that were published posthumously after his death, certainly. In 1953, The Old Man and the Sea received the Pulitzer Prize for fiction, and when the Nobel Prize Committee gave him the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1954, they very much cited this book as being a contributing factor for his Nobel Prize in Literature. Just in general, the feeling in the United States was that Ernest Hemingway had reinvigorated his career, that he had brought himself and his literature back up to the quality that I suppose it was seen as when he was younger. The story itself is a pretty simple story. The old man, Santiago, living in this village. He lives in a hut. He has a very simple life. He's really all alone except for this boy who helps to take care of him by helping make sure that he has food to eat. And the boy had been working with him, going out fishing with him. And that's just something that people did then, kind of like an internship. And I suppose the assumption is, the boy gets to keep some of the fish, or he gets a percentage of the profits from what the older fisherman makes. In this story, though, Santiago has had a horrible streak of bad luck. He hasn't caught a fish in 84 days. And so the boy's family tells him that he can't work for him anymore because the boy's not bringing home any money or fish to help the family. So the boy has to go work with other people. And the old man ends up all alone out at the sea, not wanting to return on an 85th day without having caught any fish. And let me tell you, this story gets really drastic from there. I mean, you can kind of predict what's going to happen if you know the story at all, if you've read the blurb on the back of the book or anything like that. But I'm not going to give you spoilers because I want you to read the book. I will tell you that it's an exciting journey. And you know that old saying, it's really about the journey, not the destination. Hemingway sends a very deep philosophical message with this book, with the old man and his struggle and his journey to come home on this day. A lot of people see the book and think that it is a test of Santiago's manhood, or kind of proving, that he still got it at his old age, even under his dire circumstances. But no matter how you look at it, no matter how you interpret it as some sort of allegory, no matter how you look into the symbolism of it, there are some powerful themes there. There's also a notion, some critics say, of religious symbolism in the story. There's a line about a man saying I, like A-Y-I-E, the way that you would with a nail going through your hand into the wood, which seems to call back to the crucifixion of Christ. There's a lot there that you can unpack, or you can just enjoy it as a simple story of a man going out fishing and trying to survive and come back with his manhood intact, in the sense of the way that he respects himself and feels that he is respected by the community. There's also a great film. The film that I really enjoy for this was made in 1958, so it's an old black and white film, and with the technology they had at the time, some people criticize the film because they had to put in footage of the fish out in the ocean at the sea, and it is said to be the first film that actually used a blue screen in studio in order to capture the effect of Spencer Tracy playing Santiago trying to catch the fish and trying to deal with the dangers at sea. So I think it's a wonderful film because it's very accurate to the story. When it came out, Time magazine said that it is, of all film adaptations, the one that most closely adheres to the text. That really, page by page, sentence by sentence, they do a really good job of telling Ernest Hemingway's story. And one of the reasons for that is because it is a short novel. It is really novella length, in my opinion. It's not a long work of literature. But that's also why I like it, and part of that minimalist style. Ernest Hemingway was able to tell magnificent stories without having to make them really long, while delivering a lot of power, a lot of philosophy or psychology, a lot of symbolism in them. That's it for today's talk. I hope you enjoyed this Throwback Thursday. Every day is a good day for a book talk. Peace.